about. But,
always there for you, boxing voice.
I said that. Where the A side? Where the A side?
You know the saying, stay hungry, stay humble. I'm hungry, I'm humble in defeat, and I'm gonna remain humble in victory. This is it, right?
Beyonce Productions.
I just wanted to put on a great boxing masterclass and also show the sweet science of this lovely sport. Man, the first time was so nice, I had to do it twice.
I'm prepared to the best of my capability, and I prayed I get the win. Look at it, like, I love Mike Tyson, how he came into the game on some different kind of vibe. You know what I mean? It takes a crazy man to want to fight, you know what I mean, day in, day out. The hardcore sport, as you said, no silk shoes.
Ain't no other sight in the game can see the boxing boys.
Good morning, TBV. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another Border Wars edition of the Boxing Voice Radio. I am your host, Nestor Gibbs, and we have a lot to discuss. We have a petition for a title matchup. One of the fighters in a 168-pound fight feels maybe the fight is worthy of a title or a title eliminator. Then we have some crushing, devastating news as Marvin the Tank Furman, the entire reason we were heading to Texas, is now out and off the card, along with our very own Sal, Iron Sal from California. So definitely some disturbing news, not exactly what I wanted to be reporting on today, especially when, so many of us were looking forward to that Sal versus Marvin fight. I mean, if you're in that Border Wars chat, you know exactly what I mean. The two were at each other's necks. The animosity was there. The fire in both of them was there, and really it was going to be a treat just to see how both men overcame each other's adversity and skills that they brought into the ring. Sal, such a great talker. Off of just talking alone, you would think that he was the Mexican version of Floyd Mayweather, or should I say Juan Manuel Marquez, but he only has one fight. And he has not fought in what's looking like 3 years come March. And he's had plenty of fights signed up. And for one reason or another, they've fallen apart. Whether that be, him, his doing, his opponent's doing, it doesn't really matter. What matters is that we haven't seen him since his first fight with Tony G from, I believe, Bakersfield as well. Neither one of them have been back, and we're just waiting. Honestly, we're just waiting to see the return of Sal. It was a damn good fight. A lot of people were looking forward to the fight with he and Marvin. For Marvin, it was a sign of true champion status, taking on what a lot of the TBV Border Wars publics consider to be a tough test in Sal. Marvin was taking that full force, no fear. And I was excited. He was the bigger man. He was the stronger man. And Sal knew this, but for Sal, he believed that his skills was definitely going to pay the bills, that Marvin was too wide, that, Marvin just isn't there in the skill department. And then, like I said, Sal is a man that will talk a lot and definitely keep you interested in anything that he has to say. But again, it's just real unfortunate that a fight that we were all looking forward to, it was a main event at that, is now off the table, which sucks. I mean, again, that was a real main event. I was either expecting Marvin to push the pace and rough Sal up, or expecting Sal to be some sort of Mayweather type that could keep the young Canelo off of him. Because Marvin is a young guy. He's only like 24 years old, has all that youthfulness still, pumping through him. So I'm just very sad that fight is off the table, man. I was really looking forward to that one. Really looking forward to seeing, where Sal was at. After all this talking, I really wanted to see where he was at. I really wanted to see, does the skill meet, I guess, the talking, if that makes any sense. But we also have to discuss the possibility of a new title shot for 168. So the outlook for 168, if I can just pull this up here. I know Rob posted the card in the chat. So at 168, we have a lot of fighters, no titles. The biggest issue is going to be that the person that is petitioning and lobbying to the TBV audience and public, he deserves it, I guess, if we're talking about the challenge that he's taking on. So let's get right into it. We're talking none other than Coach Mide versus Elias, the Lion, Jimenez. Excuse me, I called him Jimenez. I'm still thinking Alejandra. Lioness. Uh-oh. So anyway, so here's the dilemma, right? There's plenty of 168-pound fighters, no title. Now, Mide is a 160-pound fighter, but he's also the 160-pound mandatory. Now, there is nothing stopping him from fighting at 168, and there's really nothing stopping him from fighting at 160. Now, depending on the title that he picks up, maybe there'll be rules with the sanctioning body similar to the WBO that does not allow you to reign as champion in two different divisions. But if you're Mide and Elias, the fight is the caliber of a title shot. Mide is a champion in the flesh. He was the mandatory to 160. It felt, I guess it didn't feel right to put him in a title shot at 160 when we knew that he was one of the most talented fighters. Much like anything in its infancy, you have to give it time to grow. But I think now there are plenty of opponents for Mide. And the question really becomes, does he feel safer at 160, making people get down to 160? Or is he comfortable at 168, and will he accept the smoke at 168? At 168, we have Matt Machine Gun. We have Chris Killshot Vega from Texas. Colin the Destroyer Arlen from Texas. Matt Machine Gun Garcia from Texas. And who else is 68? Elias, the Lion Lioness is at 68. And then you got Ambrose from Texas, who could move up to 68. Southside Ducey can move up to 68 for 8 pounds, or he can stay there. He is the champion. If let's say Mide gets approved for this title shot at 68 because, this is what, his third or fourth Border Wars, and a title shot has always escaped him. Now, him being in the ring with Elias, I feel like the public will be willing to put a title on the line for one of our best Border Wars fighters. I mean, it is time. It wouldn't be right for him to continue to fight, participate, fly from the United Kingdom, beat the shit of our guys, and not be crowned champion. More 168 pounders. Sergio Trujillo, very good shape. Can the shape translate into the ring? We'll see. Jordon, El Silenciador, a.k.a. the Silencer, Baker from Florida, 168. Robert the Genius Klein, 168. So there are tons of fighters at 168. Mide can make a pit stop, snatch the 168-pound title in the vacant, relinquish it, opening the doors for Colin the Destroyer versus Jordon El Silenciador Baker, who was in a 168-pound eliminator. But does the winner really want to face Mide? Or is it Machine Gun Matt and Robert the Genius, who are also in a 168-pound eliminator? But does the winner really want to face Mide or Elias? It's interesting. It's interesting. And in 4 of those 168-pounders, I'm pretty sure they're not happy that this petition is being put in. It has not been approved. It will take the community to say yes. But I can understand some of these 68-pounders feeling like, fuck, now we got to have the best 2 guys in Border Wars ecosystem in our division, So maybe someone needs to call in and argue their side. Maybe a Jordon or a Robert or a Matt need to say, hey, fuck out of here, Mide, you 160. Go lose them 8 pounds. This fight was supposed to be at 160. You are the mandatory, but you asked for 168. Elias fights at 152 in the amateurs. Mide fights at 160 in the semi-pros. But this is 168, kind of, in a way, ruining or scaring, a.k.a. Killshot, a.k.a. The Destroyer, a.k.a. Machine Gun, a.k.a. The Genius or El Silenciador. Are they worried? Is Trujillo worried that now Mide and Elias are in their division, and can they ever get to the top? And if they get to the top, do they want the shot? So it's a lot to talk about. We still have Ambrose from Texas, who's allegedly taking on Southside Ducey and is quivering in his boots. He wants to know, is this fight official? Southside has yet to sign up. And Ambrose is kind of gone MIA, I won't lie. We don't know if he's training. We don't even know where he's at. I haven't spoken to him in at least, honestly speaking, I haven't spoken to him since we made the Southside Ducey fight. So, Border Wars, man. One day is almost a lifetime. If you're in that chat, you just don't know what can happen. Yesterday morning, everything was all good. Marvin hit me up like, yo, what's the sanctioning fees so I could defend my belts? By the afternoon, that card was done. So you just never know. We do have some new fights on the card that I want to bring to your attention. A new fighter introducing Sean Mission Impossible Jones, also from Texas, who's going to be taking on For Surefire D, also from Texas. Very high quality fight. Sean Mission Impossible Jones has 1 amateur fight, no amateur losses. For Surefire D has 3 amateur fights, 3 amateur losses. They will be fighting at 175. Now, Mission Impossible is a new fighter, and his Unguarded will be scheduled for this week, and he believes that he will be the man to dethrone Anthony and El Loco Sands winner, who will be fighting for the vacant WBC and WBA titles. Marvin has been given emeritus status. He and Sal are suffering some very personal issues between the two of them on 2 separate regions of the country. They've mutually decided to pull out of this fight, which, I got to say sucks because we were all looking forward to that fight. And sucks on an even higher level because Marvin is from Texas. So it's a drive away. It's a Saturday, but he is going into labor. Not him, but his wife. And he'd just rather be around in case his wife needs him, like any other good, God-fearing man expecting the birth of their unborn baby. So please understand that life happens. These Border Wars fighters do not receive hundreds of thousands of dollars like real fighters. This is all for the love, all off the grind and the muscle, just to better your health, just to have that sense of competition and glory. Really quick update for Nija in the chat. Next Jersey Border Wars, I promise you, I think we should do Border Wars in Jersey again next fight because we're getting a revamping of the gym. If you're following me on basically my daily vlogs, I really haven't uploaded daily, but I am recording daily. But, my opponent doesn't really drop footage, so then why give him all this footage to see of me? That being said, my gym is under complete renovation. We're still allowed to train, but they've knocked down some walls. They're adding in another ring. It will be elevated, multiple treadmills. I mean, forget about it. It's going to be a one-stop, I'm in love shop. That being said, it's the perfect place to have another Border Wars since we've already done 2. And for the real Naja chick from the UK, I got you a 135-pounder. She's in there. She's banging. By the time you guys fight, it's going to be a real fight because she's semi-novice, I would say, but she's learning rapidly because she's in there with Shadeja Green. She's in there with all these pros, and they punching up. Yesterday, she left leaking, but she never went down. You know what I'm saying? So it will be a great fight. Naja, very small, shorter, could get on the inside, punches in super fast combination. Her coach is Coach Mide. So I think that's a future we can make in the a future. Jesus Christ, I'm all over the place. I haven't smoked yet. That's what it is. I promise you I have not taken a toke yet. That being said, it's definitely a fight that I feel that could be made in the future and that will produce some real excitement. For Naja, the the optics of it is going to be great. She'll go home a champ in the sense that she would be fighting an American who's taller, longer than her. But from what I've seen, Naja's super aggressive, super accurate, super fast, punches and combinations. So I don't think you'll have a problem. Like yesterday, I seen this girl fighting with Shadeja sparring, but I felt like she wasn't committing to her punches because she knew if she committed, Shadeja would hit her harder. But nevertheless, good fight for you. She got to have at least a foot of height on you. You know what I mean? So that would make it interesting in itself. What else we got on the card? So it brings us to the newest card, Loco Sands versus Anthony the Queen City Cobra Edwards. A fight that the TBV Border Wars and ecosystem has been wanting for a long time. A fight that's had 2 successful polls in favor of Anthony Edwards facing Loco Sands. Loco finally accepted it. Listen, what do I say about Jose? It's a love-hate relationship with this guy. But you got to give credit where credit is due. He held out as long as possible. He was being clowned in the chat as Mr. Frozen Out because there were no fights available for him, and the only fight available for him was the Anthony Queen City Cobra fight, which, let's be honest, he wasn't too excited to take. He wanted some sort of belt, eliminator, ribbon, something to be on the line. And, we don't want to be the WBA in its essence. We want to be the WBA in theory, maybe use the WBA as a belt that we, give fighters, but definitely not follow their sanctioning rules. We don't want WBA golds and regulars and interims and super champions. Because Sal and Marvin have personal issues, I didn't feel the need to create an interim champion and dilute the division in a manner in which the true sanctioning bodies do to the boxing sport that we love. I want to learn from their mistakes and run TBV's sanctioning body a lot smoother and give everyone an opportunity. So Marvin was our champion who truly earned it, even though he is receiving an astronomical amount of backlash. And really the only reason that he had to relinquish the titles was because there was a contract in place. He is the one and only man to ever win a 185-pound title at a catch weight of 193. His contract was stipulated that he must fight in his very next fight at 185 and make the 185-pound limit. That being said, due to the pregnancy of his wife, high-risk pregnancy, he is deciding to stick by his family, pull out of this fight. If he was advised by Al Heyman, Heyman would have gave him a couple of extra dollars not to fight, the same way he did Peter Quillen. So Marvin is within his right, but the only issue is he's not meeting the other half of that contract, which was defend your title at 185 in your next fight. Now, I wanted to give Marvin the benefit of the doubt and allow him to remain champion until the next Border Wars and allow this Border Wars of February to be classified as his voluntary defense that never took place. Hence, the next Border Wars 8 would be his mandatory defense. And because we would have had Anthony Edwards facing Jose at that weight, and we would have had possibly Mission Impossible and For Sure Fire D fighting 10 pounds beneath that weight. One of those four gentlemen could have been Marvin's mandatory. But we got a drafted letter from Jose Sanz, not a Loco. And Jose felt like this was a very, very similar situation to his own when he was 3-0 and champion, unified, and he scheduled the fight and could not make it. He recommended that an eliminator be formed and that the winner of that eliminator would be granted his titles and that he would be mandatory shot at that winner. We all know the story and how it went. Jose decided to go on a, tale of lies that spiraled, and really we never got any clarity. The belts were never transferred, and we had to purchase new belts. But the situation was still similar. I didn't want to give Jose any credence, as when this particular situation was presented to him, he never relinquished the belts. He never paid for the belts as he said he would, and he never delivered the belts as he said he would. But that is still all after the matchup took place, or after the matchup was official, meaning after Cruz and Anthony Queen City Cobra Edwards agreed to fight. They went on to fight. Anthony won and was robbed of the opportunity of being called champion because Jose never sent the belts. But in theory, or rather factually, Jose still was stripped and his belts still were put up vacantly. The only issue was Anthony Edwards had to basically fight an eliminator and then a vacant title fight versus Marvin. which he lost. So they are very similar situations. In this aspect, Marvin is Jose, and because the new rule is in place of sanctioning fees, he technically doesn't have to turn over the belts. New belts will be purchased for the new champions, and Marvin gets to keep his belts correctly. Not stealing, not hiding, not hostaging, nothing like that. They're his belts. He's just no longer champ. He is champion in emeritus status. So the situations were similar. Again, this doesn't mean that well, it does mean that's set in stone. The only one you can actually vote on is, Coach Mide and Elias, should that be for a title. But Loco Sands and Anthony Edwards, it is what it is at this point due to Marvin pulling out. I really wanted to see Marvin tough it out. Sal's flying in from California. Marvin lives in the area. I really wanted to see him bite down, tough it out, and accept any one of these two challenges. They were both fights that he wanted. He faced Anthony and beat him for the title, so you got the familiarity in that one. And then it was Jose, a guy that, you should want to put your hands around his neck. But, he decided to pull out and stick with the family, and you got to respect that decision. But once Sal was off the table, I think anybody would have fought Marvin. I mean, I know Mission Impossible would have got out of his fight, but does Marvin really want to give a guy 0-0 an opportunity in his hometown? Maybe not. So the only names left really are El Loco Sands and Queen City Cobra. But he couldn't take any of those two because he just wouldn't be sure if on fight week he would be available or would be confined to 3-4 days straight living in the hospital with his wife. And I understand that. I get that. You know what I mean? That last week is the most important week. That's when you're dialing everything in. So if he felt he couldn't be ready, I get it. Champion emeritus status is an honor. You allow these two guys to go through war, and then you're able to get back at them and get your opportunity at the top of the of the food chain. You get glory once again. The only difference or issue is going to be, again, this fight was supposed to be at 185 for Marvin. Now this is another failed training camp that's possibly going to, I heard rumors that he was in the low 200s. If you're in the low 200s and you only got 45 days, you don't even want to fight. Let's just be real. You can't make the weight. I think that the best thing that happened was that Sal pulled out, because if you're in the in the low 200s, how you making the weight? It was a fat camp. And that was some of Jose's reasonings in making him emeritus. People really are bent up over the fact that he won the belts at 193. They wanted to see the 7-pound decrease and have him validate those titles. Give some true validity to them. Because in the chat, I can't lie, even though I don't join in on the teasing, because I think it was a fantastic fight between he and Anthony. I think it was definitely admirable of him and showing his determination and getting down in weight. We know where Marvin started at. We know he was in the heavyweight division. We know he had 2 heavyweight fights. So even getting down to 193 and looking as good as he did was an accomplishment. Border Wars, first and foremost, is always going to be about losing weight and feeling great. Competition lasts. So Marvin did that. And I wanted to celebrate with him if he was able to quiet the naysayers and get down past that 185 or get to the 185 limit to be considered a true champion. Because, let's just be honest. We can forgive him, sympathize with him, have empathy for him. But the chat's ruthless. People are already saying that, oh, I knew Sal was never going to fight Marvin, and I knew Marvin was never going to make 185. This is all just part of what I've been saying. And that's what he's going to have to live with. He's Tyson Fury now. He's never defended the titles that he lifted from the champion, and he's never made the weight. So now that they took the titles from you, you're kind of like nothing. You know, you're not 185. There is no 193. You don't have the belts. And I told them all this. I went through the scenario of AJ. I said, look, AJ had the opportunity to rebuild without the belts, and they did not take it because the belts are power. The belts are power. Honestly speaking, this is just me, my competitive nature. I think Jose is a straight certified bum. And if I was Marvin, I told him, take Jose. Jose ain't even started training at all. Jose would have went into the fight with his mind already telling him Marvin can't make the weight. Marvin would have went into this fight like, yo, I don't even got to train for Jose. I just need to make the weight. It would have made everything easier. But he didn't do it. He didn't challenge himself. And again, there's nothing wrong with that. I'm not here to kick dirt on him. I'm not here to try and make him look weak. Family first, especially unborn children first. But we can't act as if there wasn't an option B. Especially with a guy like Jose. Like for Marvin, he's been wanting Jose for so long. Now you get offered Jose and you don't take it? I mean, what fight have we seen of Jose that all of a sudden he's going to be a threat? No, and I'm being serious. You know? People can talk about me, but at the end of the day, numbers don't lie. I'm winning and stopping niggas and dropping niggas. Sparring, real fights don't matter. So he can never compare himself to me, but he ain't never drop a soul. He ain't never hurt a soul. Marvin is the bigger man. I just think it was an opportunity lost on their part. I would have liked to see Marvin say, yo, give me a couple days to talk to Mide and Cruz, my team, and see what we could come up with. But to make a decision like that without consulting with your team, like even for Anthony, if I was in Marvin's corner, I'm like, bro, this dude don't want to really fight you. You seen how he fought you. You got tape now. Like the second fight should be easier. Ain't that what Deontay Wilder says? But he didn't take that fight either. But I get it. Anthony hits hard. But does Jose? Does Jose hit hard? No, the fuck he don't. You could have just took Jose as a voluntary, sparked the whole fucking Texas with his bum ass, and kept your belts. And instead, now you're giving Jose an opportunity to say he was two-time unified champion. You fucked up. You fucked up. Now we got to hope Anthony wins. Because if you let Jose win and he can run around here calling himself two-time unified champion, fuck. I don't think we're ever going to forgive Marvin ass. I'm just being serious. Jose's a dude that picks and chooses and rises the ranking strategically. He's no different than Canelo, except Canelo's good. You know what I'm saying? This dude just picks the right fights. All right. Anthony Edwards is an even fight for him. Maybe even Anthony is the favorite. But I've been telling y'all since Anthony's debut, he's chinny. He's chinny. Everybody's hurt him. People have put him down. He's chinny. He might not like me saying it. He's chinny. Problem is, Jose's not going to fucking commit. Jose's pity-pat Jack. You know? So, I know my vote is that this is not main event. Because now we don't have no main event. I think Coach Mide and Elias Lioness should be main event, if not some other fight. But Jose and Anthony Edwards do not deserve to be main event. One dude coming off of an entire year layoff and the other dude coming off of a loss. I'm not happy about the situation. So I don't think it should be a main event. Not that I care. Honestly speaking, my fight will be 1 or 2 so that I could get to work because I still am a worker. I got to commentate, got to, camera angles, et cetera, et cetera. But I just think that it would water down the card if we made that the main event. I know it has the titles on the line, but the inactivity of Jose we don't know what he's bringing into the ring in terms of performance. And Anthony's last fight, I mean, he's probably still at the psychiatrist or some shit. Like he was looking like a head case. His excuses after that, he didn't know what was going on. I didn't feel myself. All this stuff, you know what I mean? So I don't know. Man. We got a lot of fights. Somebody could definitely be main event. I'm not a dictator. It will be put to a voting process. But all the facts need to be there. Inactivity, coming off of losses, I don't know. Now, look, some can say, well, wait a minute, let me play devil's advocate. Elias the Lion Lioness has never fought. True. But but Coach Mide has. Coach Mide has the cachet, right? Coach Mide, in this case, could be the Vladimir Klitschko bringing a vacant title to the fight because of who he is, what he's done, and the skill level. Let's be real. That is the answer. No one else deserves main event, really. I mean, Big SuperMEX versus Morocco Joe. That's a new fight. Trujillo and Chris, new fight. Machine Gun and Rob. Machine Gun coming off a loss. Rob coming off a win. Me and Eddie. Eddie coming off a draw. Me off a win. Honestly speaking, which is sad. It's really sad. Jose and Anthony and Mide and Elias are probably the biggest fights on the card that could get main event status. I'm sure people could throw my name in there because of who I am, but my opponent really doesn't bring that clout. And I guess the same could be said for Elias, for those that don't know him, but those that do know him know he brings that clout. So it's going to be interesting to see who the public picks as main event for this particular Border Wars. But let me get on out to Coach Mide, who's traveled the world, just posted some sparring all the way from Manila and now back in the UK, knee deep in training. You can check out his released training footage video that was posted yesterday to Patreon, as well as at least 9 to 12 minutes of sparring. Check that out, Coach Mide, UK. What it do? Good morning or afternoon for you.
Yo, good morning, Ness, and good morning to everyone in the US. Good afternoon to my UK brothers.
So what's up, man? What do you think about everything I've been jabbering about? What do you think about the Loco? Let's start at the top. Your thoughts on Jose and Anthony as a fight, and I guess every other little tidbit that I added.
I mean, like, Jose and Anthony as a fight is interesting. Like, regardless of the situation with between Sal and Marvin, it's a fight that I was looking for. I think we started some conversation like a few weeks back. We tried to push Jose to get that fight with Ant. It looked like we had it at some point. We lost it because there was no title. But then now it's back on. So it's back on because there's a title and because of the situation between Sal and Marvin. So I like that fight, and I respect Jose for taking it. A lot of people say they don't believe Jose, and I actually didn't think that Jose would want to take it, because if you look at the optics of the fight, it's a fight that, Anthony should be winning and is a heavy favorite for. So for a guy like Jose going in there and, challenging himself and, risking to lose, and a lot of people want to see him lose, you have to respect him for that. I'm sure he's got a game plan. I'm sure he's going to be bringing in these tricks into the situation. But yeah, no, like I said, it's a good fight, and Anthony should be happy. So it's a good get back fight for him. If he finds his way back from the psychologist to the gym, then he should be good.
But do you think that it's title worthy with Jose and his inactivity, Anthony
Yeah,
coming off of an immediate loss.
yeah. I told you, like, I think like the first time when the fight seemed to have been agreed, and then it was pulled out because, like, people didn't agree that it was for it to be for a belt. I was of the opinion that it shouldn't really matter. I think it's worthy of a title. We're talking about in the border war ecosystem. We're talking about two guys that have proved themselves. Of course, Anthony is coming uh, on the back of a loss. But I'm again of the opinion that a loss doesn't define you, right? And it's not like it wasn't a terrible loss. He lost to a guy that is coming down from heavyweights, a guy that had a winning record as well. So it's not a loss that was to a bum basically. So and going and challenging for a title in the lower weight division, or now in this instance at the same weight division, I was all up for it. So I think it's worthy of a title.
So what's your thoughts on your opponent?
My opponent, I mean,
Well, I mean more in the sense that he feels maybe this fight is worth a title shot because he's taking on the biggest threat in Border Wars.
It is a smart man, and whatever he's petitioning for here, I can't be against it because I'm also gonna be benefiting from it. So I'll be stupid to just like tell him that he doesn't have a point. I do feel that he has a point. I do feel that it's a good fight. Again, it's another fight that is worthy of a title shot. Like purely of the fact that I have seen Elias, and that I've seen him. I know what he brings to the table. I think it's good. I think people that are new to Border Wars will appreciate his style, will appreciate his skills, and will like him, right? I know that his first fight. Hopefully, if everything works well for me, it's gonna be a loss, but I'm sure that it's gonna be uh, a good fight, and Elias is gonna be a fighter that will be liked even on the back of a loss, and people will be wanting to see him again in the competition. Like, and again, that's not like me being cocky; it's just me being just saying that hopefully I'm going into a fight with thinking that with a winning mentality, right? So I'm not even thinking of losing. So yeah.
So Devin Haney and Bill Haney feel like if you didn't defend the title, you're not really a champion. So if the title is approved and you win, do you see the 168-pound division with anyone that you think could emerge as a possible first title defense? Or is it more of a situation where you think you'll win the 168-pound title and then go looking and hunting for Southside Ducey since you're his mandatory? Basically vacating the 168.
Yeah, I think it's just opening up options, right? Whatever Devin and his dad think is like it's a thought that is like common in the boxing world in general, right? But you have like situations that occur from time to time that make you rethink those type of things. In a normal situation, yes, I would tend to agree with them. But for me, it's just like if I do end up like winning that 168 belt, and I'm still the Mando for 160, I just have options, right? I just have options, and it's good for me to have options because I've been in a situation where fights didn't materialize at 160, and if they don't, then I'll just do something at 168, especially hearing the names that are in the 168 division. There are more fighters, and there are new guys as well that are looking good, at least like on the eye. Let's see what they have in the ring. But it's just options. But for me, I can just go in between 160 and 168. I don't really have a plan right now. And I don't even want to put like a plan together before I know the outcome of the fight. So right now I'm focused on Elias, man.
I hear you, man. That's actually the best way of thinking. But I gotta ask, this guy Mission Impossible, Sean Jones, seems so confident. He's only 25 years old, but with that youth, do you think that he can get down to 68? I mean, we're talking what, 8 pounds in order to get to 68?
Oh, definitely. If he's just got 8 pounds, he can definitely come to 68. And youth is on his side for sure. If he was like 40 years old or approaching 40 like I am, then it's not like realistic, or it's going to be harder. But for him, he can plan things carefully and just make sure he hits those targets. And that's what we're encouraging in Border Wars. I'm encouraging people like him to just do what they can and go as far as they can, right? And even like if he is good and that good, take it somewhere else. Like go to the amateurs and go to a pros, whatever, right? So yeah. But
sure.
I haven't seen anything from him though. Like I haven't seen footages. Maybe I'm a bit late on Patreon.
He hasn't submitted footage to be uploaded. He did send me some
okay.
very short clips that I'll post in the chat right now, but they're short. They're
Cool.
they're more like highlights of punches he threw.
Yeah, no, that's cool. Well, anything is good. Like just especially how it is with marketing, right? Anyone can make themselves look good on a 30-second video. So and everyone does it, right? I'm not like saying that I don't do that. Like that's what it's there for, man.
For sure. But so now you and Elias, obviously you've been watching them for a while, but you're getting them in the right time in the sense that you're active. You're just coming off of a November fight, right?
Yeah, I did like November 30th, and then I'm just waiting for 100% confirmation. But actually, a week after Border Wars, maybe or I'll most likely be in another fight in the UK, right? So, yeah, like in activity, I know I don't think Elias has boxed for a few years now, right? So, and even like training, I think it was in training last year at some point, or maybe
Yeah,
a
he
bit
took
more
the
than a
whole
year.
2019 off.
Yeah, I know. Something tragic happened on his side, but like, yeah, no, like it's definitely the right time, and people will just like look for excuses again and just try to put asterisks in wins, right? But like I keep saying to everyone, whenever you sign for a fight, forget all the asterisks that you want to bring to the table and all the excuses or try to anticipate your loss or something like that. You know, forget your inactivity. If you sign for the fight, man, just be ready, man, and don't talk about what you did before, what you didn't do before. It's what you do on the night, man, and that's what matters.
Do you think realistically this is enough time for him to get ready for you?
It is like, I mean, that's not a question for me to answer, right? Like, so I'll give you a generic answer and something that I will tell to people, like, you never just like underestimate yourself, or undersell yourself. If you believe that that's what you can do, no one can tell you that it's not realistic. I'm sure he's a smart man. He's and also he's not a novice in boxing. He's got like a boxing family around
Seven
him.
amateur fights.
Exactly, but my point is that he's got like a boxing brain. He's got like trainers around him. He's got a boxing family. We know he's a cousin of Doomsday. He's around you and everything. So he knows what it takes to win a fight, and when to take a fight and when not to take a fight. So if he's taking this, I'm sure he's in his mind, he knows that it's enough. Yeah, I think it's enough time because he took the fight.
Definitely. And I got to witness his first sparring yesterday. And
Yeah.
decent, but the level of opposition, the caliber of fighter which he's sparring is a lot higher caliber. These guys are either pros looking to turn pro and very active, running miles. I mean, fuck, Raheem is running 7 miles out of 12, bro. Like they over there going, yeah, man, they over there going crazy. But he's a short guy, Elias. I feel like I seen him in there with 2 people yesterday, and he seems short. What's your height, Mitty?
I don't know, because you guys go into feet and all that in meters, like because in France we call it meters. It's 1 meter 77. I want to say it's like 5'10" or 5'11" or something like that.
1
But I
meter
do know
77 what?
1 meter 77 centimeters. But I think it's 5'10" on your side. Like, But let me tell you, I've seen Elias, right? I've seen Elias before, and I've stood next to Elias before. He's a shorter guy. The videos that I sent you in there deliberately with shorter guys. The problem is that they're lighter, right? So we can't really go and exchange like real blows and stuff like that. Uh, but I'm getting ready for someone who's shorter who wants to come on the inside, right? Because it won't be the right thing for him to stay on the outside.
So you purposely got training with those short guys because of that?
Yeah. I mean, like, I mean, there is a combination of both. It was a combination of luck that they were there, and also me seeing them and say, oh, yeah, you kind of short, man. You want to do a few rounds? And yeah, so yeah, that's what it was, because I was keeping my opponent in mind. And even the stuff that I do on the bags and the punches that I'm working on are punches that you usually use, when you're fighting like the kind of inside fighter or shorter opponent. So even my bag work is targeted towards like more of like close range inside fighting, short punches, nothing too long, and yeah.
So what do you, I guess, how do you look at these border wars fights for you? Is it like a scalp on the resume? Like, I got another
No,
American? Is it just a learning experience to get that international style? What are you looking to get out of these fights?
it's just learning and it's sparring at the same time. For me, it's like any experience is good experience, and you'll find people that maybe are better than you in terms of skill or bring a different fighting style. Definitely the gym environment, right? The gym environment is different. Like, I don't know, like you guys won't know, but if you walk into a UK gym, it's a bit more of a subdued atmosphere, and people are just like, they're not cheering heavy punches. Whereas like when you're on the US side, even though you're in a gym kind of environment, and even when you're training, everyone is ringside and bringing all those braggadocios and loudmouth type of things. Oh, he got you! Oh, he did! So it's kind of interesting, and it's a different experience culturally. So for me, it's getting that international experience. And but I don't look at people as scalp. I think all of us on the border war ecosystem, we're just like helping each other either achieve a dream of like being in a ring, or getting fitter, or just like helping each other grow as boxers in general. So I won't say, oh, this is a scalp, this is an American, blah blah. I might say that when we messing around and building up those fights or try to get in people's head, but that's not really how I look at it.
And I guess a tough question. Do you anticipate Elias being a tougher fight than JD, who's a former pro?
Um, I I think so. The only reason I'm saying that is, I think first of all, JD by is on a mission, uh, you know, took things lightly. Whether people want to believe it or not, like he said it. So, and we have to kind of believe him, right? So Elias, I think, will prepare, will come right, and will bring the fire that it needs to, right? So when maybe things get tough, it'll get tougher, but also the style is going to be different. I think like that inside fight, and the style that he's going to bring is not something that I naturally do. I can do. Uh, it's not something that I, automatically like lean towards. I like the space. I like to counter. But I'm happy to work on that because, like I said, it's going to help me grow. And I think it's going to be a tougher fight if I allow him to come on the inside and just stay there. Right. So.
Now, what gives you the impression that he's going to be wanting to be on the inside?
I've seen him many times. I've seen him again. Strangely enough, I've seen him against like smaller people than him, and that's what he's doing too, right? So that's his style. That's what he does. I've seen it. I've seen again. I can't remember. Was it like Mario Contreras or something like that? I've seen him against.
Damn, you got great memory. You're right, Mario Contreras. But Contreras was a short guy, though.
Exactly.
And Google
like,
says you're about 5'8.5".
Oh, then I'm 5'8.5". Then, but like it was a shorter guy, right? And And Elias still fought the inside fight where Elias was a bit taller than him. Like, so that's his natural style. That's what he likes to do, you know. So he's gonna do that. And also, I don't think, you know, it works to his advantage to box long with me, because I'm gonna box long naturally. So, yeah.
All right, well, let's hear from your opponent. This is his first time on Skype. Let's see if he knows how to work it. Elias, we're going to need you to unmute from Skype. On the phone itself, you should see a mute button, because I had to mute you. We heard your daughter in the background when you jumped on. But if you can figure that out, if not, just hang up and call back in, and it would be automatically unmuted. Oh, there you go. Champ status. What up, bro?
What up, TVV? How y'all doing?
We good.
What's up,
Elias the Lion, oh my God, here I go again with the Jimenez.
Oh
Lioness.
my God,
Yo,
yes.
I'm trying to make you the brother of fucking Alejandra and shit. But what's going on, brother? You heard Mide talking. It seems like he knows you, bro. He's talking about you want to be on the inside, and I don't know that he's wrong about that.
Well, Midi been doing his homework, I see.
So you rather be on the inside. You want to get on the inside on Mide. Can you explain why you think that's where you belong?
Well, just like he said, that's my style. That's what I love to do. You know, I like to go blow for blow. I like to go, you know, punch for punch is my natural, like, you know, that Tyson in me. You know.
But I thought Floyd said it's hit and not be hit.
I don't care about none of that, man. I just want to. I like to get hit. I like to throw hits. You know, I know what you're saying. You're right. I am gonna come in a little bit more smarter for Midi. You know, I know he's a very technical. He likes to be on the outside, but I'm not gonna let him dance around me. You know, that I'm working on that. And yeah. So
yo, I'm gonna put you on the spot, man. I heard a rumor that you said Midi's not as good as your sparring partners.
Well, I'm not. I mean, I'm not saying that that's true. Midi is very talented. You know, I look at Midi as you know, the more experienced fighter. In this fight, I'm the underdog. You know, I gotta prove my point, you know, and bring the fight. You know, Midi, he has, you know, a lot of ring generalship knowledge, and he knows how to pick his shots well. I just can't let him get comfortable in the ring.
Now, I'm not the smartest man in the room, but it seems like for the style that you want to put on Midi, the style that you like to fight, you're going to have a very good tank to not only catch Midi, but throw these combination punches on the inside. Am I right with that? And do you see yourself having any issues in the stamina department, or is that one of your stronger suits?
Actually, I'm actually working on that now. You know, I've been like, he knows, most people know I've been, you know, I haven't been active at all the whole 2019. Not even training. But like Floyd said, since we quoted him, give me 6 weeks and I got him.
The Lion. So now, obviously, there is talks of a possible title shot because of the challenge that you're taking and accepting, and because of the caliber of Coach Mide. Does that give you more motivation? Is that just a cherry on top? Does that even matter to you? Is the win what you're seeking? Just talk to us about the possibility of a title being on the line for this fight.
Man, honestly, like, me taking up this fight, you know, brought the old Lion back. You know, it was like I thought this part of me was fading. You know, Mide is a great fighter, and that's why I accept it, because you know this is my dream, and he's living the dream that I want to live. You know, and he's, like I said, I told him he's like a big brother to me in this. You know, and I respect Mide a lot. You know, I like everything what he do and how he do it. This fight is like when Apollo brought Rocky back into the dens, into the lion dens to fight Clubber. So it's bringing the, like, you know, it's bringing the eye of the tiger back out of me.
Yes. Well, listen, the nickname is always gonna fit you. I train alongside you. I know how hard you go. You know, there's a lot of people that are associating you with your cousin. You know, I see people saying, wow, he sounds like Doomy. Oh, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. You know, but they really don't know that you guys are completely different in a lot of aspects, you know, and one being style. You know, your style and Doomy's style is very different. But I love the level of respect that you have for Mide, man. But you gotta listen. Like I tell real fighters, you're 20, what, 8 or 6?
28.
28. Mide's about to be 40. You better get this old man out of there. And I'm not saying that he's old. I'm saying guys like me and Mide don't retire until they retire us. Look at how long B-Hop fought. George Foreman came back. You know, you got Layla Ali doing interviews talking about coming back to fight a 24-year-old Clarissa Shields. So sometimes, you know, you got to let the old man know, hey, champ, this is a young man's sport. And the question is, can you do that?
Well, come February 29th, you know, it's going to be a lot of people shocked.
All right. Well, listen, I got Robert the Genius on the line, and it looks like he wants to say some words to you. Rob, are you there?
Yeah, hey, brother, can you hear me?
Hey,
Yep.
Rob, what up?
What up, cuz? Yo, Elias, my question to you is, if, let's just say hypothetically you beat Mide and win the belts, do you plan on staying at 186? Do you plan on being a consistent Border Wars fighter, or, you know, are you just jumping in and having some fun?
Well, honestly, I'm going after my dream, man. I want to turn pro. This is the whole reason why, you know I'm late, but you know, like this is, you know,
this is your run. So you saying you're gonna use this as a barometer if you can do it?
Of course, yes.
No different than Donel. I'll fight anyone Fernandez who chose Border Wars to be, you know, the pool or the pond that he stuck his metaphorical toe in to see does he still have it. And listen, Mide is the perfect test because Mide is semi-pro. He's out there. Like you said, he's living your dream. You know, at the very least, you know, you and Mide get in that ring and he sees where your skills are, and all of a sudden you become a white-collar boxing fighter or a Queensberry Queensberry League fighter because Mide has those connections. Mide fights with no headgear. He fights with the smaller gloves. You know, so this is definitely a barometer for you to see where you're at, man. I'm excited for this fight finally to get you in the ecosystem. I wanted you to do it differently because I'm always manager promoter first. I wanted him to, you know, not go straight at Mide first, get the rust off. He's got a whole year out the ring, but you know he's going for gusto. But listen, Elias, man, I want to thank you obviously for calling in.
Yo, hold on, Ness. I got more shit to talk to.
Nah, you can't, bro. He got Unguarded to do. We can't be having you do Unguarded on a live show.
Can I just ask one question?
What's that, man?
Elias, if you win, are you gonna do your hometown defense in China?
Got that motherfucker.
But Rob, man, since you on, talk to me. I need to know how you feel about the news. Obviously, you're hearing that there is the possibility that Elias and Coach Mide could be for 168-pound strap. That's your division. You're campaigning there.
Yeah.
I know you ultimately, I think, want to stop at 160. You think that's where you look physically the best. Not that the look is what has anything to do with boxing, but for your own self, for Robert the father, Robert the single guy, you would rather be at 160 with a six-pack, but you're at 168, and now you're hearing that these two fucking pro, semi-pros are trying to get in your division. How do you feel?
I mean, on one hand, I don't want them to fight for a belt, but on the other, it's like, they're fighters. They signed up to Border Wars. Like, what are you going to do? There's not an easy road here, but we're just going to move forward. I'm not going to block them fighting for a belt. Like, I'm not going to vote against it. I'm just going to be strategic with my fights and just see how it plays out. So, I mean, that's
definitely
really it.
So, Robert Klein, where are you on the card? You're number 3.
And you can't headline the card because you got to get on the mic.
Yeah, I know. That's what I said. I can't. I didn't put myself in there. I said I could because of the name, but also
you should. Ideally, you should, but
oh no, I'd rather not fight last though, bro. You kidding me? Imagine that.
Oh please, I hate that.
Imagine that. You're waiting all that shit. Hell no.
That's why I put myself third on this card.
Dog, I'm trying to be first, one and done. Like, get me out, in and out, in and out. But you're taking on Machine Gun Garces. Matt Machine Gun Garces in Texas. Hometown fight for him. Second fight for him. And I follow him on Instagram. Homeboy's working. I mean, you talking a lot, but he's really working. I see him working.
Yo, I want to say this about Machine Gun Matt. So when we started playing in this Dallas card, Team Texas had 5 fighters. At this point, Matt is the only Team Texas fighter that hasn't pulled out at least once. Eddie pulled out at least once. He's back though. Tank dropped. White Boy dropped. SuperMEX ? So it's like Matt's the first dude to sign up for this card, and he's the last Texas guy standing. So we got to give him that.
I mean, doesn't that make you fearful?
No, it just means that I picked my opponent right. I picked Matt because I knew he would show up. That's what I said. Dude's about it, lives in Dallas. That's what I want. Because we know what it's like behind the scenes with these cards and shit, bro. Yesterday was a crazy day for the card. We lost the main event, replaced it with another main event that we didn't even know we were going to get. And I mean, Ness, how many times have we went through that?
All the time. It happens
like
all the time.
bro.
It happens all the time, you know what I mean? But not only did we gain a main event yesterday, I think the day before we also got the solidified 175-pound fight between Sean Mission Impossible Jones from Texas versus For Surefire D from Texas. But, stepping away from the behind the scenes and all that, let's get back to Robert the Genius, the fighter. You're training out of D-Boys Boxing Club. Dillian Price, a TMT fighter, trains there and trains you from time to time. Just tell me, how has this particular training camp, because your first fight, for those that don't know, Robert took it on 5 days notice. So there wasn't any training. Now you feel like a fighter. You're training, I'm assuming, like a fighter, and the rumor is you're coming into the ring looking like a fighter.
So Dylan Price, TMT Pro, like Ness said, I train out of his gym. I'm also really close with the Price family, and he's in training camp too. He was supposed to have a fight tonight. That fight actually fell through. I don't know if that's breaking news on Boxing Voice, but that fight actually isn't happening. His opponent got injured, but he was in training camp the whole time I was. So I'm constantly talking with him. His dad's his coach and his strength and conditioning coach. These people are talking to me about my camp. I mean, I was a part of a real fight camp while I'm doing this. It's extra motivation. I'm watching what I eat. I'm looking forward to eating less. I'm looking forward to working out every day when I wake up. So, I mean, it sucks for Matt, but he got me at a time when I'm just super motivated and super focused. So, I mean, he's basically fucked, not being cocky. It's just, there's just no way There's just no way this dude's going to beat me. He can't level up that fast.
But what is the difference between Robert the Genius Border Wars 6 and Robert the Genius Border Wars 7?
Okay, so in Border Wars 6, you basically saw an up jump Street Fighter. That was just off street fighting techniques. And I pulled out the win. Now, I'm refining things. I know combos. I know footwork. I know feints. And it's just a completely different fighter. Now it's going to be Rob the Boxer. If I ever got to go back to my brawling against Matt, I can, and I probably will at some point after I see him tired and wounded. I may just not be so cautious and just, I want to take him out. So he's facing a completely different guy. He's facing a boxer this time. I got great cardio now too. I mean, in my first fight, I had no jogging I was able to do. No cardio. And now I'm not saving anything for the later rounds because it's just 3 2-minute rounds, 3-minute rounds? Just yes, 3-minute rounds?
3 2-minute rounds. So 6-minute fight.
Okay. So 3 2-minute rounds. I don't need to save anything for the later rounds. I don't need, if I have any gas in the gas tank by the time I'm done this fight, then I fucked up. I'm trying to break punch count records. I'm trying to get knockout. I want more blood. You know what I mean? I'm focused, man.
So what I hear is confidence. You definitely have a lot of confidence. Is that because of your improvements or is it because of your opponent? Meaning you don't think he can fuck with you, or is it because, I'm just learning so much, I'm that much better?
All right, so I think that when we made the fight, we were probably about even, but I think I'm just leveling up faster than him. I don't give a fuck if he's going to the gym 7 days a week. You got to really love this shit. You got to really focus on the nuances. I'm at home watching Coach Anthony videos, just on repeat. Just when I'm sitting at my desk, I'll just have boxing in the background. He just caught me at a time where I'm eating, sleeping, and breathing this. Yeah. And it would just be bad for anybody. So I just don't think he could level up. And, nothing personal. It's all business. But, Matt, you're dead, bro.
Damn. So Deontay Wilder says he ain't looking past nobody. He looked through him. Sounds like that's what you're doing.
I mean, I'm not looking past them, but I'm visualizing wins here. I'm visualizing big picture stuff. And you got to, and you want to.
Now, let me ask you. I know that, well, let me not answer it for you. What did you think of his first fight?
I thought his first fight was trash, but I thought my first fight was trash. I don't even watch my first fight. It's so cringy.
I need you to elaborate more on why you thought his fight was trash.
Well, just based off the conversations I had with him and his own criticism of his performance, he was throwing wide hooks. He wasn't throwing enough. He didn't have the cardio at the time. I mean, he was way bigger at the time. You remember he looked like a chipmunk. And fucking that's basically it. He was a different guy at the time. He had a different frame. And so I know he's going to be better. I bet you the Matt today kicks the shit out of the Matt that fought ring walk Danny.
Now, you speak of leveling up, but don't you think that Matt has the advantage on you? Because, A, Border Wars 6, he had a full camp. His fighter pulled out. B, you only had 5 days. So that means he had, since Border Wars 5, training. So when you got this, let's be real, midlife crisis idea to be a fighter, he was already doing it. So when you jumped in 5 days notice showing your medal, he already showed his medal by traveling from Texas to New Jersey for a fight that a fighter didn't show up. So then when he signed to fight you, he was already in fight shape and continued to train. So you keep thinking he didn't level up and that you're being strategic, but have you given some thought that maybe he cherry-picked you?
Yeah, I think initially he did because my first fight was trash. I mean, if you look at my first fight, there's a lot of weaknesses. There's a lot of holes. I didn't even use a jab. So I'm sure he cherry picked me, but yo, here's the difference between me and Matt from when he fought Ringwalk Danny to when he showed up in Jersey last time. When he fought Ringwalk Danny, he was a fat, chubby kid, right? Then he lost a whole bunch of weight and made it to Jersey, but he got all that weight loss done in his backyard. It's not like he was in a real boxing gym learning techniques. He was hitting the bag. He was dieting and doing cardio. Props to him. But he didn't level up during that time. He just got fit. And there's a difference between someone who's fit or some musclehead and a fighter with technique. I mean, look at Andy Ruiz. So, props to Matt for losing the weight, but he didn't level up as a fighter. So I don't count I count his level up to whenever he got in a gym. And if you look at it like that, I've been in a boxing gym longer.
I mean,
plus I'm faster than him.
Okay. Wait a minute.
I'm better looking than him. You know what I mean?
Woo! Yo, hilarious. So, but wait a minute. When you mean when he got in the gym, give me a little more detail as to what that means, because imagine me in my personal gym or in my backyard being trained by Coach Mide. You really can't rule out home training.
Who was he trained by?
We don't. I'm not giving you the answer to that. What I'm saying is you don't know who was training him. You don't know who has the know-how. Like
You're right,
Doomy,
I don't.
Like look, Doomy is my trainer. Maybe no one believes in him, but I like everything that he's been doing with me. Up until this point, other than inconsistency, I think he needs to take that and run with it and really train people. I think he's good, but he has no credentials to speak of besides me and Elias. You know what I mean? We are his creation, so you don't know if he was training with SuperMEX. You don't know what boxing brain SuperMEX brings to the table.
Has SuperMEX been trained by a coach?
I mean, you don't know, and we don't know. I'm just saying SuperMEX. We don't know who was training him. You don't know if they got.
I saw SuperMEX fight in Jersey. He's not being trained by a coach at that time. That was all heart.
No. But listen. Derrick James didn't. Come on, bro. See, I love when I could school people. Derrick James didn't win a world title. Okay. Buddy McGirt did. You know what I mean? Right. John David Jackson did. Did Ronnie Shields? Did Freddie Roach? So it don't mean because you could fight, you could train, champ. That ain't how it worked. Did you think, motherfucker, did Crawford's trainer win any world titles, bruh? Nah. Let's be real. A trainer is the mind, not the body. Not the body.
It has nothing to do with the body. I'm saying they just, based on my conversations with Max and Matt, they just started going to a boxing gym.
But that's what I'm trying to tell you. And look, this argument's going down the hill, but this is why you was always a good host. You don't have to be a boxer to be a trainer. The trainer is the mind. It's the mind. It's how you compute the video.
Do you know something I don't know? Were these guys doing internet training with Mide or something? Because it almost sounds like
there goes another thing. Mide does do a lot of personal training with these guys.
Did he do it with them that you know about?
I mean, listen, I'm not your inside man. I can't be a reporter, a show host, a fighter. Like you got to do your own work. But what I will tell you is that Mide has definitely given diet plans to numerous people. Has definitely given training regimens.
Does a diet plan punch back?
Brother, okay, look at the progression of Eric Cruz. Look at the progression of Eric Cruz. Mide's been his internet trainer from the beginning.
Yeah, because he's being trained by Mide. Was Matt?
Again, internet trainer from the beginning. I'm just saying, don't rule out what you don't know. And let's bring up Coach Anthony.
I would say
hold on. Let's bring up Coach Anthony. You brought him up. We had him on the show. We had him on the show specifically for this. How do you know they weren't watching Coach Anthony videos as well?
Yo, listen, all that stuff is a good reference, but when you're in the ring hitting pads with somebody, like Ness, when we hit pads, and you were like, yo, you're too square. You're too square. Coach Anthony's video on YouTube can't give me that feedback.
You're right.
Do you know what I mean?
The genius at work right there.
There's a limit to that.
No,
I'm sure they were watching boxing videos. They're training in their backyard. I watch boxing videos. I train in my basement. But I'm saying I go to a boxing coach with people who can give me real-time feedback. You know what I mean? So
I hear you.
There's differences. There's levels. And, you know, props to Matt and Mex. And they do amazing shit for what they did, dropping that weight, Mex getting fight of the year and all that shit. But I'm just a different beast. And I'm leveling up faster than Matt. And that's really what it comes down to. That's my opinion on it.
All right. Well, listen, let me get to some people because you definitely have them on. We got a lot of fighters today. We're going to go out to someone you were speaking of.
Boxingvoice.com. Loki, you are next, my friend. Por eso lo vuelvo a repetir. La era del Canelo es la mejor porque peleó con los mejores. La suerte es para los mediocres, my friend.
Boxingvoice.com.
Listen to him, he's shaking. He's shaking. He's so far to the edge, he doesn't even know how far he's out there he is, man. It's almost over for Rob. Clock's ticking, Rob. The ball's closing in. I love the confidence, but you're in trouble, buddy.
Now, why is he in trouble? Why is he in trouble? Because the chat rooms and the internet forums, they kind of have Rob as the favorite. And
that's beautiful. That just means when I place my money on Matt, I'm going to double up and win more.
But you're his brother. You're supposed to say that. You're supposed to sound like this.
Right, but I'm also objective. If I didn't feel like Matt could live up to these words that I say, I wouldn't call in and write a check that he has to cash. You know what I'm saying? Everything I say is not up to me to back up. It's up to man. If I didn't believe that he could back it up and bust Rob's ass, I wouldn't be out here saying it. The only advantage Rob has in this fight is that his head is so small, so it makes it a harder target to hit with them big giant ass Rocky Balboa gloves free.
Yo, so can you answer some of these accusations about backyard training that he made?
Yeah, he's talking about from Border Wars 4. This is Border Wars 7. Border Wars 4, yeah, it was all backyard, just me and Matt. But the following Border Wars, we brought in our cousin, who's a two-time Golden Glove fighter. He really worked with Matt more. Matt, just based off schedule. And then, from there, from the end of that, we started. Matt's been in a boxing gym a little bit longer than I have. And he's leveling up. So, yeah, look, when we first started last January? Yeah, it was all backyard. It was all me and Matt in the backyard doing our own running. Kind of very similar to what Marvin and Cruz started. Look how that worked out for them. Both Marvin and Cruz are former champions. Started the same way we did. Now we're in there with a trainer that has professional fighters, world amateur championship fighters. We're in there with a really good team, really experienced trainer, over 30 years of experience. Former gold glove winner himself, fought in the Olympic trials, took several guys pro. So we're in there with a solid gym, a solid team, and we're not taking it lightly. We're going in, Matt's going in there, doing tough sparring, getting consistent work. But he's just driven. Look, Matt's younger, faster.
Yo, but answer the rumors that you guys are afraid to release footage. No one has seen all this improvements that you're talking about. I mean, even professional fighters have a media day. Like, what's the holdup on dropping some tape?
Yeah. Don't worry about that, man. Look, it's gonna come. You gotta understand, this gym we're working. Everybody's working. There's no one stand. There's no time to stand in that gym. You stand, that's 50 push-ups. You break longer than you got to break, that's push-ups, that's running.
Bruh, I hear excuses. I hear excuses, man. You could set up the camera before you get to work.
Hey, look, man, you can call it an excuse, call it what you want. You're going to get the tape. It is what it is. Like Rob said, look, we're not asking for Rob's tape. We don't care about Rob fighting 12-year-olds. We're not worried about it. We're worried about what we do in this gym. we're gonna drop the tape when as soon as we get a good chance, we're gonna drop some film. We've got a little bit of the round robin sparring, but I want to get in there and get some of Matt's real hard sparring, so we can send that.
6 weeks out, man. 6 weeks out. 6 weeks out. You guys started camp like 10 weeks. You know what I mean? And we haven't even gotten bag footage. Something's up. Did he break his hand? Is he injured?
I don't know. Is he?
I mean, you the one. You his manager, promoter, trainer, holding. You the one withholding tape. We asking the tough questions. Is he hurt?
Yo, my man, Media Day, we will announce Team Texas All-Out Media Day. We have that in plans. Just know that Matt's coming 100%. I don't want no excuses for Rob. We're not going to have no excuses on the night. Like I said, Matt's going to come in younger, faster, and he's going to prove that he's stronger.
Well, all right, Max. We'll see, man. We'll see. Yo, the commissions and the sanctioning bodies want tape, man. Get the tape to us. We going out to Champion Emeritus, man. Champion Emeritus. Marvin the Tank Herman. What's up, Tank?
Can you hear me?
We hear you, champ.
Hello? Yeah. What's going on, man? What's up, Ness? What's up, everybody? TBD fam. Yeah, man, it sucks. Unfortunately, life happens, but, not going to be able to make it to this card. I know y'all was coming to Dallas for me, so, I want to apologize to everybody for that. Life happens. It's kind of, I guess, like a little snowball effect of me getting terminated back in November, Thanksgiving week, not having the insurance and all that stuff. So it's kind of like a snowball effect with that, having a new job, the baby on the way, I want to clear some things up, the main reason why I'm not going to be fighting is, yes, my girl is pregnant, but they're moving the date 1 week ahead. She was scheduled to be, to deliver March 7th, which was, I believe, the Saturday after the fight. And she's now scheduled to be delivered the week of the fight. So we don't have an exact date yet. 2 weeks from now, when we have our next appointment, they're going to give us an exact date, and I'll have more clarification on that. But, I didn't want to give At or Jose that, that guarantee, like, I know it's here in Dallas, yeah, let's fight. And then that come to find out, I have to deliver the baby 2-3 days before the fight. I don't want them to come all the way over here and spend their money for nothing. So that's the reason why I couldn't take any fights. It is what it is. Unfortunately, that's what happened. But, family comes first.
Definitely, champ. Listen, I'm with you on family coming first, but I wouldn't be the voice of the people if I didn't tell you that Jose and others feel like this was a blessing in disguise for you, in the sense that they thought you couldn't make the weight.
No, man, that's not an issue. Look, when I first fought against At, I dropped almost 30 pounds in 8 weeks, and that's because I had the best of the best, man. Coach Mide, he's the real deal. And I had already talked to Coach Mide. I was already 2 weeks in camp. And, he had already had me ready with the diet. I was running every day, 2 miles a day at least. It was either before work or after work. There was a couple of days that I was doing it twice a day. On the weekends, I was going to the gym. I think one of these couple of days ago, I ran like 4 miles straight, a 10-minute mile. But, I was definitely working, and Coach Mide is something that he preached to me. The first time that always stuck with me was, you got to trust the process. And I did, and that was the reason why I lost almost 30 pounds the first time. I got to 193 when, the fight was contracted at 195. So I made it under. But I was already working, man. I was excited for the fight, but unfortunately, I guess the time wasn't right.
I hear you, man. And what was gonna happen? Did you already plan on pulling out? Like if Sal wouldn't have called you, because I hear Sal reached out to you first.
Yeah, he actually reached out to me yesterday. He has an unfortunate incident going on too, man. That could be a life-changing event for him. So, that's, hopefully everything works out for him. But, financially, it was going to be too stressful and whatever he has going on over there. So he reached out to me yesterday telling me that there was a possibility that he wasn't going to make it. I wasn't expecting for the date to be moved for the baby. So I was always willing to fight. Some people forget too that when I first went to LA, my very first fight, my girl was also a couple of weeks away from giving birth. So, I'm not the type of person that's not, a man of his word. If I'm telling you I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it. But, life does happen. So if Sal wasn't able to come, it would have been next man up. And I would have taken the fight. There would have been no excuse for me not to take a fight. It was my hometown, so I wouldn't see why not. But, with my situation, it's like I don't have an option, really.
So now, again, do you see this as a blessing in disguise? Because I know that you and Jose have a lot of back and forth. There's no animosity or real animosity, but you definitely would like to get him in the ring. And from the looks of it, headlines are saying that you're picking Anthony, but hoping Jose wins so that you can get your hands around his neck. So how do you see that fight playing out? And I guess from your own mouth, what do you want to happen?
Yeah, I guess a scenario. I mean, it's a tough scenario, but it's also like a win-win. A lot of people, I guess, included, saying he had a bad night. He had a bad night, saying, giving his excuses, and they want to see the rematch. And then on the other hand, Jose talks a lot of shit, and I've been wanting to get at his throat forever. And, he's openly said that he wouldn't fight me because I'm too young, I'm too aggressive. So this is kind of like forcing him to fight me. If he somehow, some way beats At, he will be forced to fight me, or he would have to vacate the belt. So it's a win-win scenario for me because he's not gonna. There's no way of him winning. I guess you could say there's no way of him winning that scenario, because if you win the belt, now you're gonna have to face me. And if you don't want to face me, then you're never living up. You know what I mean? Wins, which I believe he will, then we can always run it back, and we'll see who the real champion is.
And worst case scenario, Anthony wins. How do you see that?
Oh, the rematch. Easy. We're going to do the rematch. We'll do it wherever he decides to do it. I go and fight him, and I get back what's mine. Simple.
Well, Tank, man, definitely prayers out to you and your wife. Like you said, family is most definitely first. You are our family, so we're going to definitely keep you in our prayers and thoughts and hope for the best. And obviously the best scenario would be an early delivery with no issues, and you can at least show up and get a face-off with the winner. Because we still will be in your hometown. We're going to go ahead and get to our newest Border Wars fighter. Don't know that you want to say too much, as we have not done your Unguarded yet. But Fire, I don't know. Listen, Rel, give me your ring name. I think it's Fire Flare, right?
Yeah, Real Fire Flame Harris.
Oh, Flame, my bad. I said Flare. So, Rel, man, what's up? Good morning to you out in New Mexico. Again, I don't really want you to say too much about you, because we want to make sure we do that Unguarded, especially when yours is going to be a special one. Rel will be introducing his trainer on his Unguarded. So let's just keep it to, I don't know, Border Wars without you.
Yeah, absolutely. So my take on Marvin having to back out, I don't judge him at all. You know, family comes first. I saw him and Anthony's Ant's first fight, and I liked it a lot. It was electrifying. It was real entertaining. So my pick is Ant, because I know that he wants that rematch against Marvin, and I think that would be the most exciting fight for Border Wars, the rematch between those two, because the first fight was so close. So I'm excited to see that. Also, I just wanted all the fighters to know I will be there in Dallas. I'm excited to meet everybody. And yeah, that's really, just to keep it short, that's really what I want to call in and say. I'm happy to be a part of the team.
I would like your vote, though. I know you don't know many of the fighters, but it sounds like you've gone and watched a lot of the fights. What do you feel about the petition for Mide and Elias to be for the 168-pound title, since there is no champion or title in that division?
Well, my personal opinion is just based off Mide's resume and what he brings to the table with his whole skill set and just knowledge of the sport in general. I feel like he's already the champion. You know, he just doesn't have the belt yet. So I'm going to say he's the A side. Did I answer the question right?
Yeah, so you feel he's deserving of this fight being for a vacant title?
Yes, I definitely think he's deserving. I watched his footage. Like you said, people can edit it how they want to, but, I mean, based off what I saw, I could see the man know what he's doing. And, yeah, so I definitely feel like Mide is A-side.
For sure. Well, man, thank you for calling in. Do you got any picks on the Rob the Genius and Machine Gun Matt fight? Have you seen footage of them, and what do you think about that little firefight?
Yeah, I'm just going to go with Rob in that fight because I seen Rob's footage when he was wearing a cable shirt. I seen that. But the reason why I'm choosing Rob in that fight is because just based off me talking to him the last couple of days in the chat, I could see that you're a real confident person, and he, like, when you have that kind of confidence and you just good-spirited about yourself like that, that does a lot inside the ring. So I'm going to go with Rob on that.
For sure, for sure. Well, man, thanks for calling in. Let me get out to former unified champion, now making his reintroduction into Border Wars, going back to the house that he metaphorically built in Texas when he took on Eric Cruz, SOG. Jose El Loco Sands will return to that very ring to take on Anthony Edwards for Marvin's vacant titles as he deals with life. Jose El Loco Sands is back, ladies and gentlemen.
Popping all this champagne, popping all this rosé, getting money like Jose, chain code Norway, shorty want that foreplay, I'm like, no way, gotta rock it like Coldplay, killing it, OJ, getting cheese like Green Bay, call me Aaron Rodgers, hopped out that Dodger, dodging them coppers, my boy got them choppers.
Yo, good morning, Ness. Can you hear me okay or not?
I hear you and everything else you're doing in the background.
Hello? Oh, shit. I'm sorry, bro. Is there another caller? Can you go to the other caller, then come back to me?
Oh, after the proper introduction, do you hear the balls of this one? Let's get out to your opponent. No intro. Damn, how many years you been listening? No intro, no nothing. I got to always go through the whole introducing Anthony Edwards, the Queen City Cobra. Anthony, you finally got what you wanted. You didn't think this man would fight you. Now the question is, do you want to fight him, as he has submitted proof that he signed up and you have not?
Let me say this. The King Cobra has returned. You know, I got tripped up in my last little bit, and it is what it is. No excuses. I'm gonna walk through Jose. He's finally been a man of his word, and he's finally gonna be retired. And afterwards, congrats to Marv. You know, he got the new baby coming on. Wish his wife good health, and all that. And enjoy them belts while you can, because I'm gonna knock you the fuck out when I get back. The King has returned, and you will be. Everybody will remember that come February 29th.
Wait, so you're knocking Jose out?
I'm knocking everybody out. That's the mentality now. Ain't no more boxing. Ain't no more jumping, diving, dipping. I'm knocking people out. Period. That's my attitude from here on out.
Damn.
A lot of talk, a lot of this and that. Now we gonna see the athletic part of me. You thought you saw it before. You thought you saw the mentality. You ain't seen nothing yet. Just wait.
So talk to me about this matchup, though, because Jose is a bit elusive, and he's strategic. He doesn't take fights he's not sure he can win. I know that the betting odds are going to have you as a favorite, but I've never seen Jose make a bad decision.
This might be the first one. I think he was in the corner. I think he was back into a corner. He didn't have any way out. He couldn't get any other fight, and so he decided, this is my cash out. I'm gonna give it up to the young gun and ride off to the sunset. He's a true champ for it, but this will be his demise.
So you think he only did it for the gold, because it sounds like you're saying the fight was offered non-title numerous times and it couldn't be made, and once the belts are there, it's like, it's not a really it's a win-win for him. He fought the guy everyone thinks is number one, or he fought the Deontay Wilder of the bunch, right? And if he lost, it's okay. I mean, why do you think he took the fight?
I think he's if you look at Jose, he's the optics of it originally. He's taking boogeyman after boogeyman after boogeyman, because he took on Cass, and everybody look at that Cass. Holy shit, Cass bigger, stronger than this motherfucker. Jose, we pray for it. Jose tapped his way, danced, kicked the mouthpiece, jab, 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 and got himself a win 2 times. Then the next boogeyman was SO. I ain't gonna hold you. I told you how I feel about SOG. He the hardest motherfucking puncher I ever got hit by. So everybody's eyes, it was like, holy shit, he about to take on Cruz, and he edged that one out, of course, with me in this corner, and now he's taking on the next boogeyman. He's taking on the guys like, holy shit, nobody thinks he can beat Ant. Like, Ant's too big, too strong, too fast. Hits too hard. So, I mean, I'm sure he's got a game plan. I'm sure he's got something that he might see, coming off a loss. He might think, vulnerable now, but shit ain't vulnerable. It just made me angry. It did nothing but get weight off my shoulders. And
Wait. I ain't got nothing. Wait. What you mean weight off your shoulders? You sound like Anthony Joshua. He said that when he suffered a loss to Andy Ruiz.
At that moment, I really felt that shit. Like, I felt that exact same way. It was just like, I got a lot of pressure. I got a lot of personal shit going on. I just, it's not my day. And then, I just felt that odd sense of relief afterwards. I was just kind of relieved. And it was like, well, 90 seconds and get back to the lab and see what I can do about this. It wasn't for the lack of skill. It wasn't for, the lack or anything like that. Just mentally just wasn't my day, and so now that the weight's off, I got a break. It's time to put it back on. It's time to get back in there. It's time to do this.
So talk to me about the style matchup between you
60 seconds.
You and Jose. What do you see that he brings to the table, that you think, like, what does he do well?
He'll move a lot. You know, he's sneaky good in a few ways. He'll put a jab out there. You know, if he's not really focused, he'll get away from him. You know, to me, I don't think he's that fast, but to other guys, you know, he's quick on his feet. But you know, it's just one of those things. You know, he's sneaky good, so you gotta be kind of ready for what he's gonna do. You know, 'cause if you're not, then you know he'll sneak away on you. He'll beat you, but that ain't gonna happen.
Now,
I envision it kind of.
I'm sorry, but I got you. I got you as the favorite, especially after seeing the headlines on the website saying that Jose hasn't even started training, and there's a quote from him saying, "I haven't even started training. I usually don't start training till 2 weeks out." Now I know that sounds almost like a lie, but he's never been in the type of fight that you and Marvin were in, or the Sal and Tony was in, or the me and Hayes was in. So we don't know if that 2-week training camp is a lie or not. That being said, do you think that he's capable of having the type of stamina that he's portrayed in at least his last fight in Texas, only on 2 weeks? Because that he didn't get tired for Cruz, and if he really only trained 2 weeks for Cruz, that's amazing.
I don't believe he only trained 2 weeks for Cruz, and I don't believe he's only going to train 2 weeks for this. My guess is he's up right now, working his ass, because he knows who he's walking in there with. He knows that he's got little to no chance to actually win. He knows that there's zero physical advantage here. I'm taller, I'm stronger, I'm faster, and I hit harder. So what can he possibly do? You know, for him, it's just like, well, let me stay the fuck away from him. You know, that's his only alternative. I don't think for 1 second he'll go toe-to-toe with me, because if he does, you know, that'll be a real quick night. It'll end at that moment. But who knows? We've seen stranger things, and maybe Jose will show us a little something, but he's never been in that. Like you say, he's never been in that type of fight where he's going at it. He's had moments where it's just like, okay, I'm going to throw 2 or 3 more punches than I normally do. But, you know, I just see it kind of being a short night. And if it's not, it'll be a very bruising situation for him, to the point where either he quits or it's waved off. Somebody's going to throw in the towel. It ain't going to go the distance.
Holy shit. Hey, let me get to Jose. I got to hear Jose, man. Jose, brother, what's up?
What's up, Ness? Good morning. Anthony, good morning. Hopefully you hear me a little bit better. I'm sorry if it's not the best. I do have my AirPods in, so hopefully it's okay. Is it all right or not?
You good.
All right. First of all, like, I just love hearing Anthony talk, man, because he knows how to tell a story, man. Like, you know, he says it in a slow, soft pitch, but you know, when he's speaking those sweet nothings in your ear, it sounds nice, man. I must, I must be honest, man. When I hear it somebody else, I don't like it, but when it's with my name in it, it's sexy as fuck, man, and it makes me all excited. I love it. Little backstory here. Anthony and I were chatting back and forth about having the fight. Just so people know, the one thing that always comes in question is my character in this. Ness and Rob, who are the de facto, like, you know, promoters and the border war gods, they called me and they offered me the fight with Marvin, but I'd already committed to Anthony, so I said no. They thought I was being a chicken. They thought I was being afraid, but sometimes, you know, in one's life, you got to do the right thing. And the right thing was honoring my commitment with Anthony. It's always the fight that I believe was the most dangerous for me. I actually believe, and I love Marvin, you know, and I'm sorry to hear, like, you know, he's going through circumstances or whatever he has to do for himself and for his family. But let's not get the truth lost in this too. Let's keep things honest, because that's what I always like to be, man. Marvin, had it been told Marvin, listen, Marvin, take care of your family, do your thing, but fight Jose at 185, Marvin would have said, yeah, let's do it. Marvin is a smart guy.
Yeah, but
He
you don't
knows
know.
damn
You
well.
don't know if he would have said yeah. You don't know. It was never offered
He
to
would have.
him.
He would have.
That's just you assuming.
Yeah, because Marvin is too smart. Because Marvin knows that had that backdoor deal not been offered to him, he knows that I could have easily put him in the position where if Marvin said, fine, I'll fight Jose, without it being truly offered to him, we would have said, no, fight Ant instead, because that's the rematch to give. I believe truly and honestly that Anthony is better than Marvin. I believe it. Marvin was bigger. Anthony had an off day. And off days, they matter, man. You know, it really does make a difference. I think Anthony is far better than Marvin. And for me, the real challenge was Anthony. I'd rather fight Anthony for no strap than fight Marvin for a fake strap. That's how I see it.
Yeah,
So,
right.
so
But
Marvin
the
is
Anthony
the
fight
golden
was offered
child
to you. Wait a minute. The Anthony fight was offered to you with no strap and you refused.
Nah, I refused in the back, but in reality, the talks were already on. Me and Anthony were going to do it. You know, me and Anthony were going to do it.
You were desperately
And,
trying to get a
as soon
title
as the
fight for that fight. Come on, bro. Everyone knows it. It's
I
all over.
wasn't,
It's
because
all
at
over
the
the
end of-
headlines.
No, Ness, let me keep it real. No matter what was going to happen, my lineal was still going to be on the line. That's the one thing that can never be taken away from me. Just like Tyson Fury, man. He coked up. He fucking almost killed himself. He went on a tangent. His life was a mess. This, that, the other, but that lineal can't be taken away.
Jose, listen to me. You're not a lineal champion, right? Because you have to beat the man that is the man. Cruz wasn't the man.
You're wrong.
Cruz
was the man.
Listen to me. Listen
Yes,
to me.
he was, man.
Hold on a minute. Cruz wasn't the man. What you guys did was Maurice Hooker versus Jose Ramirez, a unification. You guys did Better Be versus Vazdek. Bro, come on. You guys did Sean Porter, Earl Spence. You see that there? Hold on a minute. Hold on. Just hold on and let me show you facts, bro. You're
wrong, though. You're wrong. You're missing the history.
There is no history. You're making it up. Okay,
Yes,
hold
there is.
on.
You're missing it.
All right, so I'm gonna have to mute
Angelo.
you. I'm gonna have to mute you. Okay, so if Jose is Earl Spence and Cruz is Sean Porter, they unified. There's still Anthony Edwards, who is Terrence Crawford, right? And there's still who else is out there? Sal, who is Keith Thurman or Garcia, etc., etc. Like, you're making this up. You're a lunatic. You know, this man, right? He's Canadian, right? So he flies into America and he brings another Canadian, right? Who allegedly has amateur fights, and Cruz beats him. So somehow, in his mind, he's making Cruz the man to beat the man because he beat someone with amateur fights. Okay, let's think about that. Aren't there other people that have already fought dudes with amateur fights? Absolutely. Do we run around calling them the man? No. He simply unified the same way that Marvin unified. No different. You are not lineal. That is just like Tyson Fury, my man. You are a fucking lunatic. You're going to come on here and say that your best friend, who you're in business with, is the man and Cruz beat him. Like, we don't all know that Angelo Habib is your boy, the boy you train at, the dude you fly in and out with, like the dude you are publicizing and promoting. Come on, bro. You sound like a fucking lunatic. Get off the liquor, man. For real. You're in fight camp. Stop taking drugs.
Okay, there you go. Now I can talk. Okay, now let me just rebut that quickly. You got to understand, at the moment, at the initiation of what we were doing at Border Wars, Habib was the man because Habib had, and I'm telling you, the hindsight is 20/20, my friend. But in the moment, he had the trajectory, he had the amateur fights, the pedigree.
Who?
Angelo Habib.
Says who?
Let me finish. Hey, why are you cutting me off now?
Because.
Okay, why are you cutting me off?
There's
Says
no
us at
facts
the
to
time.
that. There's no facts.
Okay, there was no facts. There was no facts, but that's what we had agreed upon. It was the Ring magazine. Cruz was fighting the ultimate man's man, the ultimate boogeyman at that time.
My man.
He went in and smirked him. Okay.
My man.
Okay,
You said
McGregor, who was fighting Doomy,
was going to be the man when you were flying in with Habib. You also said that Zach was going to be the man. Bro, you bigged up your whole team. We get it. But that doesn't mean that because you said something, it's true. I hope you understand that.
But that's why we allocated that belt, because honestly, I believed Angelo Habib would have been like the Mide of Border Wars. At that point, there was no Mide. Had there been Mide would have been the lineal champion. But there was no lineal. That's not where it started. At that point,
brother,
Angelo was at that moment.
If you're
goodness, everyone can talk
listen,
for me, I guess. Now.
If you're gonna go that route, Jose, then technically speaking, Boxing MD is the lineal, not you. Why? Because Boxing MD had 5 fights, then he beat a co-host and never fought. So he's the man, not you. You're just making this up.
No, you're wrong.
Like, listen, stick to the script.
Hey,
you're fighting in or not. No, it's not.
Okay,
no, it's not.
Yes,
no,
I'm
it's not.
Yeah, Ness, you could try to discredit. This is what I love most about this, man. This is what I love most. Because at the end of the day, the chucks have circled, man. The horses are back in the stable, and guess who's there, man? It's me. The real cowboy, man. I'm on top of the horse in Texas.
Let's see you
on
win.
The show.
Let's see
I'm
you win.
Is
it true?
It doesn't matter.
Answer the rumors. Answer the rumors. Have you started training?
I've started physical training, not boxing training. I don't. This is the difference between you guys and me. You guys live in fantasy land, man. You guys live in a land that doesn't exist. You guys live in a land where you think a bunch of fucking bums up a couch can learn how to do a skill that people have done their whole fucking life and put time, dedication, and do it as their full-time work. I, on the other hand, understand that I can't do that. So what I need to do is work on what I can do, what I've done my whole life.
Can you elaborate? Can you elaborate on that?
Tank and everything else.
Can you elaborate? Because it sounds like you're saying.
Yeah, I'm not going to be able to. Okay.
It sounds like you're saying that you can't teach
Basically
an old dog new tricks.
No, you can't. That's the best saying there is, man. There's a reason why that's the saying. You can't teach an old dog new tricks.
How do you explain? Hold on. So how do you explain a guy like Coach Mide? He hasn't been doing this all his life. He's a late starter. How do you explain Sergio Martinez, late starters? How do you explain Deontay Wilder?
Because some people are naturally God-given in different things.
Well, aren't you a soccer player?
Donel,
aren't you a soccer player?
I'm a soccer player, but
weren't you in the Bolivian army?
Yeah,
it makes you some form of an athlete. So just like Antonio Brown is trying to transition to boxing, and Seth Mitchell transitioned to boxing, and they had some form of success, your athletic background can grant you some form of success. To say that you can't improve on that with a coach sounds almost insane.
I can marginally, but my biggest deficit is my tank. So I'm going to work on that more than I'm going to work on boxing. Because at the end of the day, when the rubber hits the road and shit flies out the window and it's panic mode, you're not going to be able to know how to throw the tight left check hook. It's not going to happen. You're going to have to dig deep, use heart, and find a way to fight. So that's where I'm different than the rest of you guys. You guys actually believe that, doing the pads in the gym is actually going to translate to minute 130 of the third round when you're dead beat tired. You think you're going to be able to, you might be able to apply certain things. I just don't buy it. So I'm working on my physical activity. I'm swimming, which is one of the best things I've ever done because it's helping me with my breathing. I'm playing basketball. It's helping me with my feet. I'm playing badminton. It's helping me with my hand-eye coordination. I'm using my true strengths to better my chances to be able to put myself in a position that I need to be in. Now, Anthony is a different beast altogether. He's stronger. He's bigger. He's younger. He's exactly what I want. Yesterday, I went out for dinner with a bunch of friends. I showed Anthony his picture, his IG. First of all, the girls were all like fucking smiling in red. He's a great-looking man. The guys, they were all fucking thinking I'm taking on fucking, like Zeus's son himself, man. I'm doing what I want to do, man. I'm selling this fucking story. This is my time to shine. I'm fighting the true Greek god, man. This is Anthony Joshua, not Anthony Cobra. And I'm going to do it, man. I'm going to beat this guy. Believe it, man. Believe it. I love what you said, Ness. I never take a fight I can't win. And I'm going to win this fight. It's just that easy, man. Whether it's going to be boring, whether I'm going to jab him, whether, like I said, I'll do whatever it takes.
Bro, but this is
If
what
it
I
means
told
when
him. Hold on,
I
champ.
punch Anthony in the balls, then I'll do it.
I let you rant for a while, man. But listen, the truth is you've never been in a dog fight and you never fought a dog. You never fought a dog.
Cruz wasn't
listen,
a dog?
No. And if you want to,
really?
Hold on a minute. Tell me I'm not telling you the truth. Tell me I didn't tell you for years on private calls, Jose, take the Cruz fight. You could beat him with a jab. Jose, take the Cruz fight. Come on, man. Don't fucking lie over here. I know boxing.
Okay, and tell me that you didn't tell me that Anthony is ready to be beat. You told me that right now, too. Anthony's ready to be beat, that Anthony's mentally weak, that Anthony's chinny. Tell me you didn't say that, too, now.
Abso-fucking-lutely. And
You
like
told me all those things.
and like I said on this show before he called in, I said I don't know where Ann is at. He probably still at the therapist because everybody's seen how he was acting after the loss. Now look, I could talk like that because I ain't take a fucking loss, so I don't know what it feels like. But you heard him. He even fucking related to Anthony Joshua. I would never. How the fuck you gonna come into the ring with a Wilder match but then relate to Joshua? Something wrong with him. Check his temperature. And I've been saying that too. No. I've been saying that too. I said, yo, he chinny. And what happened? He said Cruz hit him the hardest. And what happened? You got Marvin out here in the chat talking about, yo, I had him doing a cha-cha, but he's saying Cruz hit him the hardest. So he gonna have to prove that he not chinny. Because Eric put him down. And Mide gave him a gift non-knockdown. He got put down twice in that fight. One time his glove touch and one time the ropes helped him up. And I've been saying that shit for years. The same way y'all got shit on me, I got shit on y'all. I watch y'all fights. Don't give me that bullshit. And what I got on you, motherfucker, you ain't never been in a dog fight. Anthony is a dog. He took on the toughest Canadian you brought. That was truly the toughest Canadian was Eric Garcia, the most athletic, the most in shape, and the one with the most boxing skill. Even though his brother demonstrated good skill, I don't think that anybody would say Eric or Chris is better than Eric, or at least based off that fight, you know. And Anthony showed dog, got up the floor. In my eyes, twice got off the floor, okay, showing dog. And then what he do? Put your man down. He got a highlight reel knockdown. Okay, so then what he do? He fought the bigger Marvin. So he is a dog. The thing is that you ain't been in there with no dog. When the fight with you got tough, you took the way out. You started kicking your mouthpiece.
What about Cruz?
When the fight got tough with you,
what about Cruz?
You took the bullshit disqualification. No. See, that's what you like to say, and you like to clip a piece of my fight. When the fight got tough with me, I knocked my man down, and no matter what you say, it's a three. Hold on, mute time again. No matter what you say, it's a 3-round fight, and a knockdown gives me immediately 2 points or 2 rounds, however you look at it. And that first round, I knocked his headgear off. That was enough to win that first round. You could worry about me. You need to worry about Anthony. Okay? Don't get it confused. Anthony.
There you go. And you know what? This is what I love, man. You know, this is what I love because ultimately, this is the truth. Anthony is the absolute true darling of Border Wars. Of the Border Wars franchise.
Yeah, you're waiting to the perfect time. The public has been asking for this fight for how long? How many polls has Anthony won? How many times have we asked the Patreons, do you want Anthony versus Jose? And Anthony gets the overwhelming percentage and you duck the fight. And then we do it again and you duck the fight.
I had my voluntary.
And then mute again. And now this time, you ducked the fight until a title was on the line. Everyone knows it. Everyone in the Border Wars chat knows it. You can lie here. But everyone in the Border Wars chat that you talk to every day, they know that the fight was offered to you on the front end, on the back end, every single day. You taking an ant fight? No. Let me an ant fight for the ring strap at 175. Let me an ant fight. Trying to make up your own shit. Your stories And fantasies will never, ever, ever breathe here ever again. We're not going to let you lie. You're going to be who you are. El Loco, the crazy one. That's what that translates to. Nothing more, nothing less. No lineal, no fucking champion. You have no belts. Nothing. Nothing. You have to earn everything that is given to you. Okay? Can't get nothing for free because you're coming from Canada with a couple of dollars. This is a fight, and Anthony's a dog, and you can't buy your win in this fight.
Listen, at the end of the day, this is what I love, man. This is the narrative of the bad guy. Listen, Ness, if you haven't gotten it already, bro, guess what? I was gonna fight Anthony without a strap, and now guess what? I get to fight him for 2. So even though you're bitching and complaining,
Lies
guess
again.
what? Guess who outthought you again?
Lies again.
Why?
You told Robert
Ask
the
Anthony
Genius.
if I was going to fight him.
You told Robert the Genius, yo, I'll fight him if Ness lets me walk in with the Ring magazine and claim it as the lineal. You're so deluded.
Not
You're
true.
so deluded. Bro,
you are.
Bro,
Ness,
I can have Robert Klein call in.
You fell into my trap.
Trap.
Yo, but listen, you got to let me talk. You fell into my trap, brother. You fell into my trap. Because I was going to fight Anthony. Okay, you fell into the trap because I was going to fight Anthony regardless. Anthony and I had already spoken. We were going to do it. Because at that point, I was already fed up with the Ness narrative. As you guys can all see, man, the world can see. But guess who's back, man? The true bad guy's back, and I'm taking on everyone's favorite fighter, man. The strongest, biggest, baddest motherfucker on the block. And I'm going to beat him. You know? Am I going to knock him out? Am I going to hurt him? Better fucking believe that's what I'm going for, man. People have underestimated my power. They don't know, man. I got it, and I'm going to show it.
Tyson Fury at his finest, ladies and gentlemen. Now, remember Tyson saying he's going to knock out Wilder in 2 rounds, too.
Listen, I'm going to do my best to beat the man, you know, and I'm preparing the way I know how, the way I know best, which is working on my tank. Because for me, it's truly more a fight against the clock than it is against my opponent. That's how I see it. That's how I have my struggle in the ring, right?
Keith Thurman,
so
ladies
Anthony
and gentlemen.
Can push it to that point. He'll make me quit before he can hurt me. That's the truth. I'll quit because I'm tired before I'll quit because I'm hurt. And that's my biggest fear, man, is being tired. So I'm going to work on my cardio until I feel confidence, man. And now it's all happened, man. It all turned circle. These same fucking guys who called me a duck, who said I made up bullshit, this, that, the other, guess what now? Now they have reasons why they can't fight. You know, and maybe they're more legitimate, and maybe they're true because mine were all lies.
Who you talking of?
Who didn't, Ness?
Who's
pulling out of this fight?
Who's
talking
talking
out
of?
Of this fight?
Who are you speaking of? Who are you speaking of?
There's no names to be said. I'm just speaking in generalities. People sometimes pull out of fights, even if they're big unified matches. There's still reasons why people pull out of fights, man. And life happens. You know what? But guess what? This was the fight that was always supposed to happen. That was always meant to be. Because if you look at Border Wars on general, this is the biggest and baddest and best fight there could be. Because me and Ant are truly novice, truly like off the couch, big boxing fans at the same level. And this is the truest, biggest, baddest fight, man. You're
not on Ant's level.
And I've already been in the biggest, baddest fight with Cruz.
You're not on Ant's level.
Well, that's what you think. That's what you think. Ness, that's what you think. And once I beat him, I know boo birds like you are going to be saying, oh, Ant was mentally weak, this, that, the other. And guess what? Ant is mentally weak.
Didn't I say it before?
Up, boy.
Didn't I say it before?
You're going to quit. You're going to quit. Because, Ant, you've already lost once. It's not that you lost. It's not that you got beat up and you tried. You quit on yourself. And you said, deep down, and listen to me, Ant. Listen to me. Deep down in that fight, you said, nah, just ain't worth it. It's not my day today. It's not going to happen. And you quit. You wilt. You fucking just crumbled to the pressure. You already gave up once. So I know that I can find a way to do that again. I might have to work a lot harder than Marvin did to get there. Doesn't matter how. It's there. The blueprint is there, man. It's there. The blueprint is in that man's mind. And I don't know how many push-ups in the world you can do or how many abs you can do in the world to work on that mind, Anthony. So you keep that in mind. You're fighting the guy with the strongest fucking mind in all of Border Wars. Maybe not the strongest ass, maybe not the strongest punch, but God fucking willing, man, the strongest fucking mind. And I'm going to test your mind.
Explain.
Like even more than you could test my body, man. How?
Explain.
I'm going to fucking be a dog in there, man. I'm going to tell him, are you tired? Are you going to quit? I'm going to fucking hold him and push him and press him and bite him and punch him. And I'm going to do every fucking dirty trick in the book. I'm going to do every single fucking thing necessary, man. I'm going to send hookers to his fucking Airbnb, man. I'm going to do whatever it takes to tire the man out. I'm gonna send fucking donuts to his house in Cincinnati, man. Like, you guys just don't get it. I operate at a different level. You don't understand. This belt to me, man, now, this fight to me now, what it represents today, it's everything, man. Honestly. So I put my green strap above many things in my life, man. No lie. That's the truth.
So speaking of that, you've signed up. Your opponent has not. And no sanctioning fees were paid. Are you guys fighting for both titles? Or are you going the cheap route and only fighting for one?
Here's the thing. No, we're not going to go the cheap route. We're gonna talk about what we want to do. Anthony has talked to me about what he really wants. You know, Anthony wants more than just to beat me. He wants to take it all away from me, man. He, in essence, wants to come in and take the house I built, man. And for him, he knows what means most to me in this world, right? And he's gonna work on seeing if it can be done or not, right? Like, he wants my green belt. You know, whether or not it's mine at this point, it can go up as vacant. I don't mind handing the belts in, but he wants to be able to beat me and take that away from me.
But what, that old one you got?
That old, disgusting, dirty, stinky fucking belt that you call it. He knows that belt means more to me than fucking half my family and 3/4 of my friends, man. You know? And he knows he wants to win that belt.
So wait. So you guys are going to fight for that belt? That's the belt. That's the belt.
I told him
that's the belt that's supposed to represent the division, not the ones that Marvin had. Like, you're not going to get identical ones to what Marvin had?
Dude, it's about what that belt represents to Anthony. What that belt represents to Anthony is me ducking him all these years, me not fighting him all these years, me fucking cowering away from him and doing that shit.
Yo, Marvin said
he wants to win that belt and probably throw it in the trash.
He said that shit belt.
No, and you don't have to fight for it. It is. Hey, you know what? But that's where Anthony is starting to plug into the mindset.
So, we'll have to talk off there. I guess it'll be non-title, man. That belt's not even built for TV, man. We can't have that on camera.
Okay, listen. You can say what you want. We'll talk about that shit later. At the end of the day, people can clearly see two things, man. One, that Ness is a hater, man. That's just the way shit is. It's going to be that way,
champion,
and that's
I'm
okay.
I'm screen sharing right now what a real WBC belt looks like. You know what I mean? You can call into Skype. You've done your unguarded. Come on the screen side by side with me and your WBC. Let's do it right now. You ready? Come on. Call in. Hang up and call in.
I'm not at my house right now.
Oh, exactly, because this is a real WBC
you don't
belt.
Understand that
this
belt,
is a real belt. This is what Marvin fought for. The real belt with Tyson on it, with Floyd, with Ali. Not a $300
belt, man.
Not a special edition belt that is not even the actual size.
It's worth $5,000.
Come on, bro.
It's real.
Yeah, okay.
It's real. This belt is actually historic. Mm-hmm. You know what? This belt is actually. So you rather wear a bunch of fake Yeezys that you can buy from China for $30, or would you rather have some original Jordans, man, that are worth $5K, $10K?
Brother,
That's what I got.
That belt is anorexic. Show it. It's anorexic. You and I
both
know. It's like the 1986 version.
That belt is $5,000, man. That's how much it costs. It's real.
It's outdated.
It doesn't matter.
It's
not got
built for
real
TV.
Fucking precious metals.
It's not built for TV.
It's got real precious metals.
The only thing
it's got real leather.
We'll think about. Listen to me. If you guys are going the cheap route, we're thinking about maybe petitioning the ring, as that's still used in boxing. But the trinket that you have is more like memorabilia. We don't want it on television, not Border Wars television. I'm sorry.
Well, we'll see. We'll see. Like you'll see. Like it's a historic belt.
Like
whatever.
I said,
we can talk about that later. The point is,
we can possibly think of accepting the ring as, like I said, that's still used. You see Crawford and even Wilder and Fury are fighting for the ring. But yeah, we can't use your memorabilia. Keep it on your mantle though. It looks good in your showcase, your bookcase or something like that, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, there you go, Ness, again hating. You know what? I love it, though,
How
man.
am I hating?
You know what's
look
funny,
at the
though?
amount of time
People,
that I've given you. How am I hating? You're made for television and
yes,
radio.
of course. You've hated on me the whole time. Okay, regardless. Okay, this is the last thing I want to say, man. People, sign up for Border Wars right now. I'm actually fucking excited to do this because the quality of people that we've had join Border Wars is going through the roof, man. I want to give a special shout-out to my boy, my billionaire boy in arms, man, Sean. That's the guy,